What's the craziest thing you've seen a parent do to protect their child? My sister Cora and I used to be super close growing up. She was always the protective one, even when we were kids. I remember when I was 8 and she was 12, she punched a boy who pushed me off the swings. Got suspended for a week but never apologized. That was just who she was. Everything changed when she had Mia. Cora became like IDK, obsessed with being the perfect mom. She read all the books, joined all the mom groups, built her whole identity around it. Her husband Calvin seemed cool with it at first. He was this laid-back guy who worked in some office job. Things started getting weird about 2 years ago when Mia was 4. Cora started calling me with these paranoid theories about Calvin. Said he was acting strange around Mia, staying home from work to be with her, insisting on giving her baths, taking her for daddy-daughter days, without telling Cora where they were going. I told her she was being ridiculous. Calvin had always been a good dad, maybe a bit quiet and awkward, but good. He'd been in our lives for like 7 years at this point. Never showed any red flags before, but Cora wouldn't drop it. She started recording conversations, checking his phone while he slept, following him when he took Mia out. It was getting scary how obsessed she was becoming. I tried to talk to her about seeing someone, maybe getting help for what seemed like postpartum anxiety that never went away. She just got mad and stopped talking to me for weeks. Then came the day she called me sobbing so hard I could barely understand her. She'd found something on Calvin's computer. Wouldn't tell me what exactly, just that it confirmed everything she'd been afraid of. I rushed over to their house, but when I got there, Calvin was acting completely normal, making dinner while Mia colored at the kitchen table. Cora was nowhere to be seen. Calvin said she'd gone to her mom's to cool off after a fight. Said she'd been accusing him of horrible things and he didn't know where it was coming from. He looked so genuinely confused and hurt that I started to wonder if my sister was having some kind of breakdown. I stayed for dinner, watched how Calvin interacted with Mia. Nothing seemed off. He was patient, kind, didn't force hugs or anything weird. Mia seemed completely comfortable with him. I started to really worry about Cora. That night, Cora called me again, told me she'd taken screenshots of what she found before confronting Calvin, said she was staying away because she was afraid of what she might do to him, asked if Mia could stay with me for a few days while she figured things out. I agreed, thinking it would give everyone some space. The next morning, Calvin dropped Mia off at my place. He asked me if I knew what was going on with Cora. I lied and said I didn't. He just nodded, kissed Mia goodbye, and left for work. Cora showed up an hour later. She sat me down and showed me her phone. What I saw made me physically sick. There were messages between Calvin and someone named Austin. They were talking about Mia, about other kids too, planning things, sharing things. I couldn't even read it all. I asked Cora if she'd gone to the police. She just laughed this hollow laugh and said the police would take forever. That Calvin would deny everything, delete everything, probably get custody of Mia during the investigation. She said she had a plan and needed my help. I should have said no, should have called the police myself. But I was in shock, and all I could think about was Mia sleeping in my guest room, totally unaware of what was happening. Cora's plan was simple, terrible but simple. She was going to get Calvin to confess while recording him, then use that to make sure he never came near Mia again. She needed me to keep Mia safe while she did it. 3 days passed. Cora texted regular updates but wouldn't tell me exactly what she was doing. Calvin called multiple times asking about Mia, asking when he could see her. I made excuses. Said Mia and I were having a girls' week. On the 4th day, Cora showed up at my door at 3 a.m. She said it was done, that Calvin wouldn't be a problem anymore. I was afraid to ask what that meant, but then Cora pulled out her phone and played me an audio recording. It was Calvin, sobbing, confessing everything, begging Cora not to tell anyone, promising to leave and never contact them again if she would just keep it quiet. That's when Cora told me what she'd done. She'd broken into their house while Calvin was sleeping, tied him to a chair, and then, God, she'd hurt him. Not enough cause permanent damage, but enough that he was terrified of her. She'd made him transfer all their savings to her account, made him sign divorce papers she'd already prepared, made him record a video confession she could use if he ever tried to see Mia again. Then she'd untied him and told him he had 24 hours to disappear, or she'd send the video to the police, his work, his family, everyone. I was horrified. Told her she could go to jail for this. She just smiled and said no one would believe Calvin if he went to the police. Not with what she had on him, not with what he'd confessed to. She'd thought of everything. 2 weeks later, Calvin was gone. Told everyone he was moving for a job opportunity. No one questioned it. Cora and Mia moved to a new house in a different school district.